everybody. It is day 74 from abstaining from coffee, and I thought this would be a good time to give you all an update since I'm driving to work. I hope this encourages anybody who's trying to quit. I guess a little bit of a story about me, and I think since about the age of 15, I was highly 15 was probably when I started I was in high school, and I started drinking coffee like all the time. Not just coffee, energy drinks. It started, I believe, with energy drinks, actually. Red Bulls and Monsters, and I found that this gave me what felt like this was like a superpower, because it gave me a lot of energy when I really was tired. I was involved with ASB, I was involved with student government, I ran track, I was involved in other clubs. I was a very involved student, and I just found that energy drinks really helped me manage my tiredness, and I became addicted to caffeine. And being the president of my class, throughout high schools, needing to represent and have a lot of high energy all the time, and I felt like it was really easy for me to have a lot of enthusiasm at my school, at my church, everywhere I was, I had high energy. I drank energy drinks in high school. I drank energy drinks and coffee, and college, where running track as a full-time job, pretty much, working a job, and being a full-time student. I needed caffeine. I thought I needed caffeine. And then, getting out of college, working multiple jobs, getting married, having kids. Coffee was an essential part of my daily routine. I was drinking coffee all the time. And it wasn't until, I'm 34 now, so I've been drinking coffee for over 15 years. That's a lot of caffeine. It was part of my normal day to day. Now, I like to work out, I like to run, I like to exercise, I like to try and eat healthy, and I have an espresso maker at home where I was drinking espresso 2 or 3 times a day, multiple shots, and just to help me manage my energy. I centered my days around when I would have caffeine when I needed energy. So when I wake up, I'd have caffeine. When I got to work in the afternoon, I would have caffeine. If I'm tired, I need to spend more time with the kids to help them go to sleep, I would drink caffeine. I was just always drinking caffeine. And then I decided to take my blood pressure one day, and I freaked out because my blood pressure was 160 over 90, and that's really, really high. And I realized that this is very unhealthy for me. I need to quit. So I quit cold turkey 74 days ago. And if you are addicted to caffeine, I hope that this video is an encouragement to you, because I didn't think that I would be thriving as a person without caffeine. Initially, when I gave up caffeine, I was a very tired person. Everything slowed down, which was fun, you know. Here, I'll take these off. I was a lot more laid back. I definitely, I noticed that once I had given up the caffeine, my blood pressure dropped to normal, to like around 120 over 78 or 80, and I realized that caffeine, and I come from a family that, you know, a history of hypertension, so the fact that caffeine was giving me hypertension was not good for me. It's not to say that this is for everybody, but this is how it was for me. And initially, some of the changes I thought were, wow, like, I am a lot more slower pace. I felt more boring. I was less enthusiastic. I didn't really have like withdrawal systems, because I had been intermittent fasting, and I attribute it to intermittent fasting as well as exercising and drinking a lot of water. I upped my water intake to about a gallon a day, and because I don't want to drink soda, I don't want to drink things that, you know, and you know what, I actually just didn't want to drink anything that had caffeine in it, but coffee was the main culprit. I would say that, you know, I still had my chocolate here and there, and I know they have trace amounts of caffeine, but anyhow, as far as coffee goes, I started to realize that a lot of my personality had been what's the word? A lot of my personality had been formulated around this enthusiasm that I was getting from drinking a lot of caffeine. I was pumped up all the time. I was super enthusiastic. It was like I could never have a bad day. I was always excited. I was not shy. I felt very passionately about everything. I would say that caffeine helped me feel my feelings even more. And when I wanted to do something, I just went after it without much rhyme or reason. If something had to get done, I went after it. I was a heavy hitter. And after I quit drinking coffee, I observed that, let's see, my energy levels, really, my enthusiasm levels were far less. I was just far less enthusiastic. In fact, I felt my feelings, like the threshold for my enthusiasm was much higher. I guess it would take a lot more to get me super enthusiastic. Like before, when I would drink a lot of coffee, When I heard a good song, ooh, I felt it. But now when I hear a good song, 74 days in without coffee, I go, that's a good song. I don't feel my whole body vibrating. I don't, I'm not as emotional. In fact, there are a lot of feelings that are accompanied with that. I'm not as enthusiastic in my social. I don't go out of my way to talk to a lot of people now. I'm more introverted. I find that I am a lot more in touch with, I'm more sensitive to my body, so that I can like, I feel like I'm more ethical, I'm more thoughtful. And as before I was like a hammer, now I'm kind of like a pin and needle kind of guy, where I take a needle and I'm threading the needle and I'm doing one little stitch at a time, as opposed to how I'm like with coffee, where I'm like a hammer, where I just, when I go at something, I just start hitting things until they start working. I find that I reflect more, and I so yes, when I'm drinking coffee, as opposed to when I'm not drinking coffee, my personality has, and for some people I've heard this really scares them because they don't think they're no longer themselves when they drink coffee. There was this guy that Joe Rogan was interviewing, and he said that, he really wasn't himself. But I would argue, this guy who had quit coffee, I forget his name, forgive me, but he was saying that he felt like he wasn't himself. I would argue that you are who you really are without coffee. If you are, it took me, I think I experienced withdrawal, my most intense withdrawal symptoms on like day 50. Not on the first or second week, but my withdrawal to actually like satisfy my caffeine cravings were so high around day 50, which I was very surprised about. Like, I thought my body probably thought I was going to start drinking coffee again, but I quit. So anyhow, my encouragement, there's a lot more to this story to unpack, and if you have any questions, I'd love to unpack that for you. But yes, I'd argue, I'm sorry, I remember the thought now. I'd argue that you are who you really are without caffeine. I've found that I am a lot more focused, a lot more I do more. My work is more rich. My work is enriched, and I just pay a lot more attention to the details of what I'm doing. And I also notice what's wasting my time. One of the things that was very surprising was that I felt like hormonally, when I was drinking coffee, I was all out of whack. And wow, I didn't know what being energy swings were like. I just, like, when I was awake, when I was tired, I was out. But now I find that my energy is more balanced throughout the whole day. And also, let's see what else. extra enthusiasm that I have is placed throughout the whole day into projects that I want them to be into. I'm sure I'll talk about this more in all the upcoming videos, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of where I'm at today. And there's so much to unpack, because not drinking and abstaining from coffee has really changed my life for the better, and I hope to encourage others who are trying to quit as well. So anyhow, I'm on day 74. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm praying for y'all. I love y'all. Praying that you guys are, successful in your journey. In Jesus' name, amen.